Hey, welcome back, University of Toronto fans. We are here tonight with the Overwatch Intramurals featuring Electrogiant and Friends versus Bearfoo Hate Club. The pleasure of joining Spaffle. Sonny, how you doing tonight?
Doing good, doing good. Feeling really excited and energized for the matchup tonight. How are you?
Yeah, not too bad. It's been a while since I've had the pleasure of doing Overwatch, so it's always a good time.
hmm
And it's been a lot of characters added since the last time I've seen it, so I'm excited to see what's new.
Lovely, lovely. Well, talking about what's new, let's head into our rosters. We've got Electro Giant and Friends coming up first.
Yeah, certainly. A lot of heavy hitters on this team. We've got
hmm
Electrogiant himself, Zeus, Emil, Justin, and Monkey HW playing a bit of a variety here. Some new characters, some old ones. And honestly, I'm excited to see Ramatra. Always been kind of an explosive, interesting character to see, right?
Yeah, and I do also want to touch on is that we have these deep bonds between the players on both sides. You've got Zeus, Emil, and Caboose Justin that have all, been playing together for a long, long time. They build that connection and they're coming into the intramurals as a collective unit. I'm really excited to see which kind of compositions or plays that these players can cook up. Now, that's a lot of gassing up for the Electro Giants. How about Bearfoo Hate Club? How are they looking?
Oh, certainly. On the other side of the kind of bar here, we got good old Hig, Piggles, Drac, Nayla, and Wild Pants. Also with an entirely different set of characters as their faves here. Not necessarily what they're going to choose, but do keep in mind these may be characters that find some bans later tonight.
And those are some pretty crazy pants on that Mercy character. But you also see that Nella is a born Kiriko player. She is able to toss those kunais left, right, and center, take out any target, any distance, right? And you're pairing that up with Marvel Rivals' finest DPS player, Piggles. Piggles is a menace on the hit scan. There is just no stopping this man when he gets ahead, and I'm just excited to see how both these teams are able to clash together.
Yeah, good. As you mentioned, really good tight knit friends over on Electro Giant
Mhm.
versus Bearfoo's kind of like a combination ensemble of players, right? But everyone's got their own values and such, and I'm sure they can find some kind of will to work together and pull everything their way.
Yep, for sure. No, it does look like our first map is locked in as well. We're going to be sent to Oasis. Oasis is a fantastic map. It's one of my favorites, really. It has its origins all the way back during their launch in Overwatch 1. But man, just the amount of play that it sees nowadays and the sort of strategies and the different methods that teams are able to take advantage of. It doesn't matter if you're a brawl team, a full team, a dive team. All of these points, they bring something different and something unique that your team can iterate on. And this is it leaves a lot of room for character expression, especially for these teams.
Yeah, as you mentioned, especially with the control type map, right? It's a classic game mode, and I'm sure we're going to see some picks that are more despite what you want to do in terms of their favorite. But the show simple ones here. Are there any characters one here?
I mean, it really depends on the point. I love Junkrat, massive Junkrat fan, and I know that Electro Giant are as well. So I'm really expecting to see that one come out. You've also got some pretty cracked Sojourn players on both ends. That's really exciting. I haven't been too in touch with the meta this season, but those hit scans are going to shred here. But if you want to mix it up and you want to play some of that like rush style / brawl that's been pretty fancy recently, you can definitely whip out some of that May, Lucio, especially Juno. Juno's been a menace, and just sort of run the enemy team all the way back into their spawn chokehold. So like I said, there's so many options and so much variety, and I think it'll have to wait until we get into each of the sub maps to really be able to, dig our toes into this one.
Oh, certainly. Yeah. So we do have the bands coming up here. The bands
hmm
on one side are going to be Torbjorn and Lucio going towards, I believe that's Giants bands. And we'll have
Yeah,
to see
so
what
Electro
Barefoo's going to choose.
Giants.
Yeah, Electro
Yeah,
Giant.
sorry, go ahead.
Yeah, no problem. Yeah, I was just going to reiterate those are their two choices, right? And we're going to see what
hmm
Barefoo's going to bring over to them. But yeah, Torb, we definitely saw him in the preview there, so they might be targeting that.
Yep, Torbjorn is a classic at holding off those off angles, making characters like Tracer, like Sombra, making their lives hell and making sure that you have to deal with this little turret, this turret that's sitting in the back of the map on a flank angle. You have to get rid of it, and that gives so much time to your team to sort of react, and it's not as much of a jump scare if you hear them shooting a thing 90 miles away. And then obviously banning Lucio as well as trying to sort of dissuade some of those grouping comps, some of those rush comps where you pick the Junkrat Queen, you pick the Reinhardt, and you just try and sprint it down at the enemy team. So that's a very strong thematic push here for Team Electrogiant. I feel like they're going to lean very heavily into the dive aspect of this map. I'm interested in seeing how Bearfoo are going to sort of read that, and with their sort of counterban position, how are they going to try and punish it?
Yeah, right. I mean,
Mm-hmm.
as you mentioned, when you put it like that, these characters seem like excellent choices for this map. So there's no question that these are the ones that got to be off the board, right? And yeah, I really want to see what Bearfoo is going to be doing on their side here, because yeah, these
Yeah.
being great examples, there must be other ones as well. Any that come to mind before we see the official bans for Bearfoo, or?
Oh, well, I mean, I know that Zeus and Emil, they are very good, flex slash hit scan DPS duo. So trying to take some of those characters off the board would be very, very good. Just as I said that, it looks like Bearfoo did lock in their band, and it's going to be Monkey Brig. Monkey Brig is a very, very solid decision. Like I said, Electro Giants are trying to set up that dive comp. They're trying to set up their team for success by banning out those sort of counter themes that would sort of muck you down if we're trying to dive onto a certain target. And Bearfoo are able to respond by both taking away Winston, which is an incredibly strong dive tank, as well as removing Brigitte, which gives you a lot of safety with your support line when your tank is, halfway across the map diving in. So now we've seen both of these teams like take fair punches at each other. What do you think is going to be sort of like a determining factor? Or do you think it's going to be their speed? Do you think it's going to be, you know what I mean?
Yeah. Of course, they're going to have to reorganize around this. They literally have a guy named Monkey on their team, and that Monkey's off the table. So it's going to be up to him to really kind of lock in and select something that really works for him outside of his main, of course.
Mhm.
I understand that there are some other characters that he may have listed. But he is playing support, I believe. So Juno would probably be the one that he would go for. She's still in the picture here. Great character for movement kind of bonuses for the team, right? Getting around the map. Given this is control, they're going to be focused in one area, but we will see how they're going to utilize something like that.
Yep. Now, while our teams continue to get ready, they're all revving their engines. Let's give you guys a quick segment to our sponsor, BMO, to help you focus on what's important. BMO has checkings and savings accounts, credit cards, and borrowing options specifically designed for students. Plus, get up to 12 months of Domino's pizzas worth up to $190 with BMO's current student offers. Visit bmo.com/studentcards for details.
Well, that's certainly a lot of pizza. I mean, maybe not in Canadian dollars, but I'm kind of weak right now. But yeah, we are going to get into the match pretty soon, I believe, as well. Just under a minute.
Yeah, I'm very excited for that. You've got, I don't know, each of the maps brings a lot of variety to it, whether you're on Gardens, whether you're on University, or the third one, which escapes my name in my mind right now. But the verticality and sort of like flatness of all these different maps and the sort of challenges that they arise are all different kinds of puzzles for these teams to unravel with their compositions, right? Say if you're going to University first and you're dealing with this big library ahead of you, and you've got your high ground on the right side, and you've got this tunnel on the left, and you've got this big open point in the middle with this little sinkhole in it. It sort of changes how your approach to this map really works, right? And it just so it happens to be this is where we're going. So
speak of the devil.
Yep. It does look like both of these teams are going to revolve around a brawl/rush kind of play style. You've got Mauga, Genji, Reaper, Kiriko, and Moira for the side of the Electro Giants. And for Bearfoo Hate Club, not Fan Club, you've got Tracer, Sojourn, Junkrat Queen, Juno, and Kiri. A lot of those characters that we called out in the beginning as being very strong, general purpose characters are also really good at, fulfilling that brawl, rush, just run them down, get in their face, and deny them all of that space kind of playstyle.
Yeah, certainly some heavy hitting DPS with Electrogiant bringing some other close range ones in Reaper and Genji. But here we're opening up right now. Got Maga, Electrogiant on Maga right now, making some space for his team. Really tanky character. You see Electrogiant, Emil going in for some harassment here on Reaper. Backed up by multiple supports. Getting really low there, but he's so slippery. As you can see people backing up here. And there is the first blood of the game. Caboose and Monkey HW going down. Electrogiant soon to join him in the grave. And there goes Zix and Emil. It's going to be a team wipe for Bearfoo towards Electrogiant.
And masterfully played and kited. You could see how Hig was hugging that corner, dodging and ducking away. Emil sort of overextended just a little bit and was forced to fade outwards while the rest of the team charged forward. And you can see Electrogiant, they need to make these swaps. They need to have that extra flexibility, and Junker Queen is exactly the character to do it. So now that they're walking back after a loss, and they're going to be down in ult charge, they have to try and make this win before they're able to generate kills.
Making their way through this little vestibule gives me a tall order as they are trying to make some space. So keep into their team DPS. Emil getting in close, getting low, but Monkey HW in the pocket there to give him the HP that he needs to finish the fight there. And there, once again, Emil goes down, unfortunately, as we got Wildcats blasting off here. Here is, once again, Bearfoo moving on up, making sure that they don't get onto that point. Almost seemed like once again, it's down to Caboose to run away. And that's a shame once again, as the point remains in the control of the Bearfoo Hate Club.
Yep, that was exactly what Electrogiant needed. They wanted to get in there, they wanted to get a quick kill before Bearfoo Hate Club were able to get any of their ultimates, but unfortunately they weren't able to convert it, and Nayla's Kitsune Rush just blew everything wide open while Hig rushed in the back line. Now welcome to Orbit, as Wildcats is leading the charge, takes down Zeus.
Caboose has a laser out here on Moira. Super amazing support ability with high damage potential, of course. And they're going to chase everyone down with that laser beam, taking out quite a few players on the Hate Club here. And it looks like it's super priority as we do see a team kill in the favor of Electrogiant taking that point.
Yep, that's the turn they needed. They used 3 ultimates, count it 1, 2, 3, but Bearfoo only used 1, and now they're already back on their way. Monkey really needs to think about how he uses this Kitsune Rush to make a break deal.
And there it is, right on target. It's going to be that Kitsune Rush, making so much space for Electrogiant to get back in the fight here. Zeus trying his damnedest to deflect everything he can with that blade work, and we're just jumping around the action here. No one's going down just yet. Electrogiant on his last legs there, as he does find himself down to the grave. And here we are. He's going to be up to the DPS to kind of carry the fight as they are going down one by one. And once again, Bearfoo repels Electrogiant's team.
Yeah, that was a pretty quick and done deal. I believe it was Piggles with actually the back tap to get them quickly and swiftly to 100%. They didn't even finish the fight and they were already marching their way. Bearfoo Hate Club secure a pretty solid round 1. There were some ups and downs, but ultimately through their, quick momentum-based play style as well as their conservation of ultimates, they just, once they got ahead, they were miles ahead of their competition.
Yeah, as you said, there are ups and downs. There was the one swap of the point in the middle there, but they brought it back so fast.
They won't even know what happened.
Yeah, I mean, just like I said, it's the ultimate economy difference between these two teams. Is Electrogiant were put in a position where they were behind. They needed to make a big play to make it work, and they had to expend 3 crucial ults for their team. Meanwhile, Bearfoo used 1 to sort of draw the fight out and make sure that everything was, a little bit closer. And that turn of events ultimately led that to be as close as it was. Now we're going to see people swapping over onto the Echo, a lot more verticality on this map. And both of these teams are actually meeting on a pretty different spot on this jump pad.
Yeah, they're right into the action, of course, poking each other out, feeling out the differences of the characters, as you said there, with a couple swaps. And we got Drake up in the rafters here, making some quick work with Sojourn, finding some damage. He's building that ult charge, which is a big deal here, as I mentioned. The ults are so crucial right now, and getting to those quicker is so valuable. And oh, here we are. Got Hate getting in there close, finding some hold on to Electrogiant, and he's fallen by his team. Once again, Electrogiant is taking so much heat as Bearfoo almost all but clears him out.
Look, I called it earlier, didn't I? Naila is a sniper with those kunais. It's just 1, 2, 3, you're down and out. Securing 2 kills out of the only 3 that happened in that fight. Absolutely incredible. That's going to bring them very, very close to their ultimates. You can see the difference, actually. Hig is 80% towards a Rampage, while Electrogiant's only 27%. That's the difference you have when you're getting poked out. You're not allowed to play. Now, these are the big points we've been waiting for.
Yeah, getting into the back. There's so many entrances for this kind of area. As we do see Drake and Naila go down. Some of the most crucial players right now in these fights. Zeus himself going down as well. And there is Electrogiant dueling on those Junker Queens, finding a kill onto Hig, answering back. He's going to be up to Pickles here to find some damage onto the enemies, but he goes down as well. And Bearfoo is looking not so strong right now as we see the point go over to Electrogiant's side.
You know, beautiful rotate from the Electrogiants. They executed that amazingly. They took the Junker Queen and wrapped around the outside of the map while Reaper cleared off the high ground. They were able to catch members off guard. Orbital Ray, Rampage coming through to cut out the noise. Pickles falls first. Emil trades it back, but Pickles is again on top of things.
Pressing the corners of Pickles there, making sure that he can get everything in his favor. And a bunch of players going down on Electrogiant right now, as we do see the point go back to the side of Bearfoo. And a bit of a closer around this time around. Last one was very convincingly on one side, but this one they are back and forth for sure.
Yeah, Bearfoo very much in the driver's seat. They know what to do when they're ahead. When it comes to retaking the point after a first loss, though, might be a little bit of a different story. Now, both these teams are coming to a head. It's 58%. This is getting very, very close to the end of the map. Wildpants and Naila both have their ultimates, and Monkey is the only support to have it for the other side. Things are coming to a head now. Electrogiant's getting cut off at low HP.
Yeah, we see the ultimate come out from Sojourn there, or not exactly, it's been a swap there. Hig is up in the mix though, leading the charge against Electrogiant. All of his friends right behind him, finding almost a team wipe there, and really defending as Bearfoo sends up Pickles there with the laser beam. And it is great to make some space for Bearfoo as they hit 85% on the point.
Yep, Sojourn in the spawn trying to lock them out. Zeus is the one to TP behind her. Now Drac is stuck between a rock and a hard place. Monkey drops down to low HP, but Emil is able to take down the kill. Gonna make a Tsune rush and an orbital ray deep in the spawn, but Pickles takes down one, Hit takes down another, but there's somebody on the back half.
Yeah, they're fighting so far from the point, but as you mentioned, it's gonna be a bit of, oh wow, a full back cap. Okay, we're gonna see Electrogiant swap it back over to their side. Contesting is just Zeus alone in enemy territory, going for that Reaper ultimate. Die. Not finding too much with it, but he does find a kill with his special shotguns there, and it is going to be a bit of a swap, possibly again here, as they are pushed off of the point. Hig leading the charge once again, and finding so much damage onto Electrogiant. Overtime modes right now, but they do touch, extending this match even further than it already is. And could this be it? And there we are.
There you have it. It's the flailing, the attempts at recovering that saw Electrogiants come oh so close. But Bearfoo ultimately, their adaptation, their rotations were so fast. Even when they saw Electrogiant were making the play a second time in a row, they were able to quickly adapt and shut them down. Now, Electrogiant with a nice play of the game, though. It's a Rampage into Death Blossom combo. Man.
Yeah, there's certainly one of the larger moments over in the first round of that map there. As, man, Junker Queen on both sides. This character is excellent right now. Seems so effective at that mode as well. I wouldn't be surprised if we saw even some possible bans towards that character later on, because it was a menace for Bearfoo's side in addition to Electrogiant's side.
Yeah, exactly. And looking at the way that things played out, right? Bearfoo were very, very comfortable wherever they were. They got caught off guard one time by Electrogiant's quick rotations, but aside from that, they had a pretty comfortable position in the driver's seat, and I don't know exactly what kind of changes Electrogiant can do to shake that up. I really, really like their rotations around, you know, the later half a second point where they were trying to mix it up and they were fighting on an equal 0-0 alt turn. But when push comes to shove and you need those pop-off moments from your star players, I just think Bearfoo have it in spades. What do you think?
Yeah, given it's a 2-0 right there, and you're seeing a lot of really good performance from them. We got to give it to Electrogiant. They did have some really great moments there where they did flip the point a couple times and tried their damnedest to really keep it in their favor. But Bearfoo convincing victory for them so far, and I'm excited to see what they do next and some of the character swaps as well, and what the bans are, because we're going to see, I believe the bans can only happen once, right? So we're going to see Torbjorn
Yep.
available now. I believe the next map type is hybrid, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, it's
Yep.
going to be hybrid next.
Yep, hybrid is a sort of map type where you can have a lot more shenaniganery happening. I don't know what exactly the approach is going to be. Is Electrogiant going to try and hard ban out your Junker Queen and your Kiriko, or are they going to sort of hold off, right? Because we have Flashpoint, we have Push, we have Escort, all of those are later on in the series. So maybe hybrid isn't the sort of map that you want to the map type that you want to ban out those kinds of plays on, right?
Well, we do know which map is going to be. It's going to be Numbani this time around, another OG map from back in the day. And a character like Torbjorn is really valuable over in the beginning of the map as well. That first point before the payload opens up, super good to have someone like Torbjorn up in on the second level there, shooting down at the aggressors.
Yeah, I mean, having the Torbjorn available is very, very nice, but also having the Winston. And Numbani is a very, very traditionally heavy dive map, at least for the first point. So having Winston with his ability to sort of use the arc cannon and cleave out towards enemies and even shred through the armor with some of those recent changes that he got. Well, I say recent, but it was probably a few months ago at this point. But regardless, right, and having Brig's ability to counter him, right, that's the thing that happens when you ban Winston and Brig early into the series. Maybe this was part of Bearfoo's, plan all along. You get rid of Winston, get rid of Brig, so they can't ban Brig against your Winston later on.
Yeah, especially in an opportune map like this. So yeah, it's a really good point. Both of those guys are going to be available. And on the other side of it, there was 2 other bans early that are also going to be opened up. We haven't spotlighted them, and they were, which ones again?
It was Torb and Lucio, right? So Lucio
on the other side.
Excellent character. Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if we saw him throughout this match as well, especially as we go into second and third point. Numbani actually opens up the diversity a lot more. We've been able to see, especially with some Symmetra plays, you have like your brawl style comps working on first point, but it is very, very good in the later half there. And as the teams prepare to go into Numbani, I don't know how comfortable they're going to be, right? We talked about how Electrogiant want to take Bearfoo out of their element, right? And seeing how they just played Junker Queen, Junker Queen, Junker Queen in the first map, and now, oops, we're on an all dive map. It's going to be interesting to see how they sort of mix things up. Now, I do think these are some bans coming through, though. Why don't you take us through?
Bearfoo is picking up their first bans here. They're going for Ana and Diva. I feel like Diva mirrors what you're saying about the dive comp kind of potential, because like similar to Winston, she can get in there, she can jet on in and make so much havoc for the defending side. And then Ana, I guess just a generally great character. Stay back, stay safe, get some crazy value off of those heals, and possibly sleep on in a critical moment.
Yep, exactly. And when you think of Brig, you always think of Ana. So I'm not sure how much play Brig is going to get now that we're looking at it and we're seeing, okay, Brig is there, but Ana's not. So maybe we swap out one member of that duo. Maybe we bring in something else like a Kiriko. But then if we bring in a Kiriko, then maybe the Brig isn't as useful. And you can see that sort of dynamic out play. And when you think about it like that, maybe there's more happening. Now, Zeus's team, the Electrogiants, is banning Echo and Doom. That further follows what we're talking about.
Yeah, especially
it's really it's really just about simplifying down the game. It's like, you might have a better Diva and I might have a better Doom, or we're just going to trade these bans. So now we're all playing Winston anyways. So that takes off a lot of the opportunity for different dive tanks to be played, but still leaves the gap kind of wide open for everything else. Echo makes a lot of sense. Piggles has a very, very strong Echo. I'm interested in seeing what sort of picks they pick up to, play around this.
Yeah, it's always exciting to see some variety, and as you mentioned, new map, of course. So there's
Mhm.
a lot of potential here, and we know who we're not going to see, but we may see some of those returning familiar faces that weren't available last time. I guess I've reiterated that a couple times, but it's always exciting to see what they're going to pick. As here we come through, we're just on the cusp of it now.
Mhm. Yeah, so peering into my crystal ball here, definitely not fueled by prior experiences. I can probably wager an educated wish and assume that both of these teams are going to be playing Winston. We're probably going to be seeing some Genji, potentially a hit scan character to follow that up, whether it's Soldier, whether it's or you could even see probably Pharah. Pharah is a very, very strong one.
Yeah.
There you go. Shout out Piggles.
Yeah.
Gonna be interested to see where this goes afterwards. There you go. You have Brig, who's freshly off the ban list, but
Oh yeah.
also accompanied by Juno. Juno, I don't know how strong her range heals are, but maybe she's going to be able to play a little bit more aggressively to stay with the team. We have Ashe as our hit scan pick for the Bearfoo Hate Club. So it's a lot of extra range that they're affording themselves, able to poke them down. Emil walking out on the trademark Widowmaker. That's a very, very space commanding pick, and you just got to not peek the Widow. It's classic Attila as times come, trying to get a cheese pick, but not going to be able to find it thanks to the bubble. Oh, come on.
Only we speak too soon as Electrogiant gets in there on Winston and finds a kill onto the backline. Emil getting an awesome shot. Bird out of the sky. Pharah is going to drop as we do see an advantage in the favor of Electrogiant right now. Making their way in here on the second level, appearing down from above, and going to cap 2 tiers of it so quickly here.
Yep.
And man, that is going to be the payload opening up within like 20 seconds of the map starting there.
Man, I am in shock. Emil has a commanding presence
Holy.
on the Widowmaker. It didn't even matter that you had an attack Torb. I didn't even have time to comment on it when they already had control at the point, and Torb just already put his little turret in the backside to prevent the recap. And now they are charging, they're trudging on through, and Nabani's a very momentum-based map. You hear that word a lot, but it's very, very hard to stop this payload and retake control on second point.
Especially in this middle section, right? It's going to be a tall order to try and stop them at this point. But they will get to the tunnel soon, and the tunnel is kind of a tall order sometimes.
Yep, Cab on a little bit of a blank.
Yeah, bit of damage coming out here. Hay going down on Bearfoo's side, unfortunately. The Electrogiant and the boys are making their way up. Emil following close behind. Here comes that Tesla beam, finding a lot of damage into the front there as they have to back up all the way to that aforementioned tunnel.
Yeah, I mean, when Widow has you in her sights, it's very, very difficult to walk up and play the video game, especially because she doesn't have any deaths so far, and there are 2 bubbles. Zeus takes down Hig Cab, again, flanking Kiriko in the back line, just taking them down.
Yeah, so good on those kunai as we were talking about last match, and there we go. Electrogiant unfortunately going down, so the push is going to be slightly stalled on the side of Electrogiant here. And we do see Piggles take some heat there, but they're going to walk it off, and everyone's back to neutral. And here comes the first ultimate charge of the game for Wild Pants.
Now, a very slow game now that you think about it, where it's the first ultimate to be charged. We do see Higgs swapping over to the Zarya. Emil just draws blood yet again. There's no stopping this man in a molten core through the fight, just to back him off a little bit more.
Yeah, and the character swap on the Zarya, as you said, it's pretty interesting here as it's going to be hitting that alt fire onto the enemies, finding those shields. Great combo with Nayla on break as we're going to see a bunch of action here. Here comes some ultimates. Big damage on the side of Electrogiant into the opponents as they do find some deaths themselves. It's a bit of an even spread here. Emil in the back finding some huge shots into the opponent, getting their going to the grave, unfortunately, though. That is going to be a full stop with the payload reversing. Great play by Bearfoo to hold this area.
And I just want to rewind time a little bit. You saw Cap get caught out on the side, you know, really punishing that heresy and making sure that the Kiriko knows their place. Then after that, everything sort of started to crumble as they don't have the healing support.
Yeah, and we are back into the action, though. This is kind of a last chance here with the Ape Rage coming down onto the point. Electrogiant being kept up by his immaculate healers. And we do get a POV of Emil on the side here for some reason, finding a couple shots into the edges. Widow versus Widow dueling at the moment. Pickles going down, unfortunately, and they're so close to getting this payload to that final kind of stretch there. As you see Electrogiant jumping back in, finding some Tesla coils onto opponents. Emil going down, unfortunately, and it's just so much damage coming out here. Great play by Hig on Zarya, keeping his team alive through thick and thin. Electrogiant Monkey going down. The front line is all but dead for Electrogiant. It's gonna be up to Bearfoo. Hig finding so much value here. Almost a team wipe with only a meal left on the board.
In their most dire moments, they had two names to call, Hig
yeah.
and Drac. Right, Drac finally got that shutdown, put Emil in the dirt, got the Widow Menace off the board that was on the off angle, and that just freed up so much space for their team to play. Hig was able to just sit in the middle of the points, but now we're seeing a mirror on the Zarya.
Yeah, this has been kind of a trend. They've been just duping each other's tanks all day, and now it's going to be a Zarya versus Zarya battle here in the neutral as we see some posts coming out, and there is the molten lava down from Zeus on Torbjorn, finding some space there. Emil being down, unfortunately, for their team as well, making the push a bit harder here as Bearfoo's got to back up, but Zarya Electrogiant is up to the order here, finding another kill onto Emil, and there's round one in the favor of Electrogiant.
Yeah, it was unfortunate, but the way that the point sort of rotated around them and they were trying to match that speed coming out from Bearfoo, they sort of hid around the corner and were not able to get back around, right? So Electrogiant were able to secure a pretty quick full cap. They have 3 minutes remaining. They did get held up on third point, so there is still some signs of life in Bearfoo, but I'm very, very interested in seeing what they try to do to mix things up.
Yeah, I want to see what the disparity is going to be on this first kind of payload unlock, because it was very fast for them, as you said. Like, they only struggle in third. But yeah, if they can really kind of get to it right away, they can match it up. But if they take too long on this first one, time is just going to be ticking down.
Yeah, I mean, it's good to see, though. We're seeing we've got a series on our hands, ladies and gentlemen, and looking at the way that they're starting to come out of the spawn, you're seeing a lot of that iteration at work. They're not defaulting, but they're falling back on something that's trusted, that they know it works. They're going to bring out the Junker Queen, and they're also going to mix it up. This time they've got the Pharah to be a menace on the high ground. Emil is no longer on the Widowmaker. It's not as impressive when it comes to the defending side on this map. And but Torb is love, Torb is life, and is always going to pursue through. I'm really interested in seeing how this is going to play out, as it looks like Electrogiants are taking the low ground, trying to sneak around, see where they can go. A little bit of ratting happening. They do get spotted, though, but the Scimitar does take them up to the high ground.
Yeah, that is an excellent use of teleport to get Hig into the front there, finding some damage onto the enemy support, dueling it with the monkey. But he's going to jump away there, find some space as they just surround them and get some damage. But Emil is the first one to go down on the defender side, followed by Monkey. Looks like it's going quite well for Bearfoo at the moment. Hig chasing down these enemies off the point, finding Torbjorn in the hallways here, dueling him out. But unfortunately, Tesla Coil is going to be the bane of their existence as they do go down. The objective is open, so awesome. They are right on it. They're opening it right away, same as the swap there. And they have so much time to work with here once again.
Emil just instantly, as soon as things don't work out, when in doubt, you swap back to that Widowmaker, gets a kill off the surprise, and intriguing to see where things go afterwards. Drac actually swapped onto the Sojourn. You know, it makes sense. The Symmetra is not as versatile when it comes to the second and third point push, especially on the attacking side. And you can see both of these teams are just constantly jabbing each other. There's no room to breathe, and it feels like they're always confronting each other.
Yeah, when you got players like Pickle, they're always out to deal some damage. Up in the skies here, rocket blast all over the place on Pharah. It is so hard. It feels almost like Junkrat in the way. You can't hide around any corners because that explosive AoE damage is going to find you eventually. And here we are, Zeus in the annals of the map here, making sure that he can get some damage out on those second floor guys there. But man, still, we got Pickles really just doing so much work
Can you get a kill?
Oh, there we go. He's supercharged. He's trying to get some shots up into the air. It's going to be Electrogiant going down, though. No tank on the side of the Electrogiant at the moment. And a lot of damage coming out here. And we are going to see Zeus follow suit. Emil on 1 HP having the backup. Caboose going as well. Emil going as well. That's just an entire momentum drop here for the defenders as Drac and his team make their way up. A couple fist bumps to the sky, celebratory, and there is some artillery into the back there.
And it was a very, very valiant effort. You saw the vision with the Baptiste flanking around, doing a little bit of a sneaking with Zeus, and unfortunately they got picked off way too soon, and they weren't able to really see their plan into fruition. But Rampage cuts through the team. Emil with a pick onto Wild Pants.
Oh.
Pig trades back,
knocking him out of the zone there, the immortality zone, right? As we do see Hig getting supported by his supports best they can. They're going to find Caboose, that sneaky Baptiste. He is holding the ultimate, though, on respawn here. He has the opportunity to kind of change the tide there. Unfortunately, Hig is going down after that crazy bit of a push there. And they're going to have to back up the offenders, having to take a little break.
Yeah, I mean, Electrogiant now on the Sigma, providing that shield and that cover that the team desperately needs to be able to do their poke, to do their damage from range. Now you have the Genji Zarya, the timed classic, the Dragon Blade on top of a Vortex. It's just, what more can you ask for?
Oh, and there we are. We're going to see the Orbital come out here as Piggles and everybody else is going to make their way up here, finding no kills, you said, but lots of damage coming out. The immortality from Caboose will be so valuable there in the last moments there. Electrogiant getting a bit low on Sigma, but he's got the orbs to back it up. Caboose in the backline here doing so much damage. Are you sure this is his support character right here? Like, oh my god, he's got that French weaponry there, kind of lead the charge with his buddies.
All right, there it was. That was the big push that they were trying to amount to. But now Electrogiant, they may be down their orbital ray, but they are getting very close to their other very impactful ultimates. They're close to the overclock. Zarya is getting charged to get her Graviton Surge. And does look like Piggles spots Emil in the back line, gets that secured kill. Now it's a 4 versus 5. Where can things go?
Well, they're going to answer you right now as we do see the rallies come out on both sides. Both Drakes ready to party, putting up so much healing to their teams. Electrogiant and everybody else taking a lot of heat right now, but the same can be set for Bearfoo as Electrogiant himself goes down. It's going to be up to the 5 members of Bearfoo to lead the charge here, find what they can, as they are so close to hitting it. They're actually ahead of the time right now as well. They are on the clock, and that is a slight victory for round 2 here on the side of Bearfoo. Both making it to the end.
Yep, expertly done. Both of these teams got it through in about 3 minutes. So you're going to see overtime kind of drop that down a little bit more to a more reasonable amount. Now the team has 2 minutes remaining for the Electrogiants, and the Bearfoo Hate Club have 2 minutes and 12 seconds. On paper, Electrogiants have less time. They're at a disadvantage, but realistically, when we're in an overtime scenario, when things start to get messy, and as they quickly do, those 12 seconds, it doesn't really matter as much. So we're at a pretty even point here. This is anybody's map, and it is going to be the Electrogiants tasked with taking this first. They're not going to walk out on the Widowmaker. They want to try and play more of a, I don't want to call it honest game, but they're trying to fully commit. They're racking up towards these really, really impactful fight-winning ultimates. They're trying to bunker down for the long haul here on this fight. And the same thing can really be said for Bearfoo. They're bringing back the Zarya. Zarya worked excellently well into this comp, and why not? Piggles on their trademark Tracer. If you're looking for a Tracer to watch, that's Piggles right there.
Yeah, I wanna highlight that Winston feels like a great pick here on offense for this little. They only got to take this first point really, and a bit more, and it's gonna come down to fundamentals, right? Because they may not see too many ultimates come out here at all. Such a short time.
I'm really curious to see if Bearfoo can break this curse and hold the point for more than 20 seconds.
Yeah, well, we're going to see they're right into it here. The Tesla coil is shredding through Zarya's defenses. They're having to back up a bit, but they're finding a lot of damage themselves as Zarya gets stronger and stronger the longer they stay alive, and the fight is getting that laser beam charged up. Staying alive thanks to the help of their friends, but Zeus is going to be the first to go down, swapping over to Torbjorn to answer that. They're going to have to get back on the point here, try to stop some of these tiers, but they're locked into 2 parts of the circle right now as they're back on the point, getting lots of support, up to them to stay alive, find some damage, supported by their buddies here. Emil going down, just play after player, unfortunately going down on Electrogiant's side hand with so much trouble here as Bearfoo's putting up such a fight on this first point. They don't want to see a repeat of early. They know the only thing that matters right now is this first point, because that's all you're going to see in this 2-minute long round.
Yeah, expertly well done. And Emil, okay, wasn't close enough to getting that ultimate. So, okay, we're going back to the Widowmaker. We're going back to the Torbjorn. We're going to try and do whatever it takes to secure this point. It might not be a proper comp, but it is a composition. Now they're running up on the left side. Pig is incredibly close to an ult, and Emil falls first.
Yeah, there goes Emil, and once again, we got Electrogiant in the front here with his Tesla coil, finding a lot of damage, but we do see the Brig ultimate. Everyone's rallying to her. She's finding so much time, so much delay. That's really what it is. It delays so much of the time here, keeping the whole team alive and making sure that Electrogiant and the boys can't get onto the point once again. And here comes the token stiff. Put the monkey in the air, man. He's going to space, I guess. A solo ult on him. Just that's all that matters. So you can keep him out, and then bully Emil down to her last HP, keeping her out of the fight. And there we are, Wild Pants flying in the sky, finding so much value along with their friends. Piggle's going down, but it doesn't matter because so many Electrogiant players are down. They're in overtime, but they're not going to find this first point, and that's going to be it. Not even completing it.
All right, 73%. We're almost there. All the Bearfoo Hate Club have to do to secure this map and go up 2-0, get to match point, and they have to secure 73.3% of the points. Now, are they going to be able to do it? Historically, 100%. They got this in the bag.
Yeah.
But it's an overtime miracle, right? It always happens. It happened just here right now when we saw Bearfoo defend. I'm interested in seeing if they're going to sort of keep going with the tried and true. If it ain't broke, don't fix it. Or they're going to try and cook a little bit, maybe burn, though.
Honestly, there could be some nerves here as well. Like, failing to capture the first point during overtime is really a stressful kind of situation to be put in here at the end of the rounds. So, I mean, they've got so much momentum over on Bearfoo now, just having defended the first point successfully. And they're sticking to some classic characters here. The comp is almost the same. And we see Piggles back on the airborne Pharah, such a valuable character to have here. And whoa, we can see McCree, Emil on McCree here. Another great hit scan character, take out those eyes in the sky.
Yep, and really, really interested to see how this goes, right? It's another first-time pick, Emil and Cassidy.
Yeah.
And you've also got Zeus on tour, but again, putting that turret in a very, very pesky spot where they're not going to be able to clear it out from range. It's exactly what you want to strive for if you're a, aspiring Torb player. And now as Bearfoo walk towards the objective, every second counts. We're getting close.
Well, let's see what the man with the golden gun can do here. Cole Cassidy up in the second level. He's going to spot the enemies down in the hallways there, finding some huge damage on them. They're going to blow a bunch trying to get down here, kind of scare them out. And there is Pig leading the charge, giving Brig a really hard time, finding an early kill onto Monkey. That's going to be so pivotal to their defense here. Man, Electrogiant came to play right now as they're having so much trouble, but both sides are just kind of at each other's throats here. A teleport across the second level platforms here. They're into the action, take it down in the thick of it, finding a dagger, gonna be smashing and bashing, getting as much support as they can, but it's a bit of a tight situation as Zeus, Emil, Caboose, Electrogiant himself going down. It's up to just a Monkey here, but they've lost so much time on this assault here.
I mean, it's just a mirror image to the first time that Bearfoo attacked. They went onto the underground, they took the TP onto the high, and then when everything sort of looked dim and everyone was just bumping uglies, they were able to come out on top. Drac with their ramping beam continued to clutch at the life force that remained on the Electrogiants. And with that, they were able to pretty decisively secure this win, and that brings them so close to a series win. This is a best of 5 after all, so all they have to do, they have to win one more map, and then that's it.
Yeah, they got the 2-0 right now. Very convincing first victory, of course, but then the second one being a bit more even. That overtime, though, ooh, that was really hard for Electrogiants. It's gonna be hard to come back from, of course, and it's a lot of stress having to lose in that part of the game. But I gotta applaud both teams for sticking to it initially there and getting the entire payload to the end there at a similar amount of time too. So it's kind of admirable.
Yeah, I'm really interested in sort of the discussions that are happening behind the scenes right now, because there's a lot going on. You have so this is we're full sending it, right? Your Electrogiants, you're down 2 maps. You have to make something work. Now, you can ban those crucial picks for Bearfoo. Whatever you have left in the tank, right? You can take the Junker Queen away, I believe, or do. Yeah, you can take the Junker Queen away. You can try to make a play around maybe Baptiste, maybe Juno, right? There's still a lot of opportunities for them to take action. But when it comes to Flashpoint and the way that the map is just so wide open, especially New Junk City, which is going to be E-Giant's choice, it's very, very difficult to play anything other than what Bearfoo are already so comfortable on.
Yeah, admittedly, I am not very familiar with New Junk City, having not played the game much recently. So I'm excited to see it. I know Junkertown, but this is an entirely different map, and Flashpoint is a newer game mode, correct?
Yep. So the way that Flashpoint works for the uninitiated is it is a series of control points. So think of it just like Control was for map 1, except instead of the rounds changing over, all 5 of these points actually coexist on the same map. So when you take a point, you just huck yourself across the map to the next one. You just run your way over. So the way that, and then you have to get to it's first to 3 rules, and all of those points are very varied. They're very different. Think of them as their own little control submap, basically. New Junk City especially has a lot of variety. Some of them are flat. You can see here from the, if you were paying attention during the thumbnail, you can see that there's a lot of variety. You've got this sort of flat circular area around the middle point. You've got the low ground. You've also got these little snaking tunnels that happen around it. And other points aren't so, friendly to compositions. You have some points that are very, very wide open. You have them with a lot of cover. You have ones with high ground and a low ground component to it. It's a lot of variety. And I think that's exactly what E-Giant are going to try to use to stir up the pot and see if they can go... really go hard, go crazy, and secure this map.
They're really going to have to do something unique as well, because this is like their last chance possibly on Electrogiant, as you said. So I expect to see a lot of variety here. Hopefully something new as well in terms of the character composition. As you mentioned, there's lots of differences in these control points on this map here. So it's exciting to see what they bring. And the bans are coming back around. So we know what characters are kind of open now as well. And we should be seeing the new bans in a moment here. But exciting to see a couple characters like Anna. Anna's free now. Diva's back in the mix as well. These are characters we haven't seen tonight. So maybe they're going to be useful here. I can see Diva being pretty good. Control point sounds like an area worth nuking, right? So let's see how she does.
Yeah.
There for this.
Yeah, it's an interesting turn of events, actually. It looks like Bearfoo are the ones to ban Junker Queen, or sorry, that's Junkrat. All right, I see Junk and I assume Junker Queen. It's Junkrat and Malga. Malga is a beast at sustaining in the middle of these fights, and even though Junker Queen does have that little bit of a slender hitbox, I'm sure they're sort of trying to, ban forwards and ahead of themselves and try and cover all those bases. Junkrat is a very, very strong spamming character. I know how I mentioned there are a lot of corridors and choke points on sort of a map. Even some of the more open points, you are able to still get a checkpoint. If you push far enough out into like the ridges of the map, you can sort of get a lot of those good spam angles. And I really, really know that Zeus especially is a connoisseur when it comes to Junkrat. That sneaking little... I've been advised not to complete the sentence, but that sneaking rat is very, very effective at one-shotting people.
Well, let's also see some other characters, players on their mains here. So Justin is really good on Anna, from my understanding, and that character is now available. So I'm sure that's going to be brought into the mix. And shame on Junkrat, because what you described sounds like hell, especially on a map named after him, right? Like, come on. So let's see what they're going to do there. And another character that we haven't seen tonight, if some people are sticking to their guns, Electrogiant is a beast on Ramatra, and I'm sure that could be very valuable on the points here, dueling it out with other melee kind of range characters and bringing out that annihilation ultimate, right? There's a lot to see there. So let's see some of those. It's possibly your last chance tonight. So bring out some of your mains.
Exactly. It's we're just kind of tossing punches here. We're trying to take these characters out of the mix, and if you're Bearfoo, you're trying to just ban whatever it takes to secure this map out, you kind of don't have much strategy anymore. It's
Yeah.
like, okay, I know they like Malga, I know they like Junkrat,
Right.
I'm getting them out of the map now. And when it comes to the way that Electrogiants sort of have to approach it, they kind of have to think a little bit more long term. They kind of have to, okay, well, if I ban this and this here, are we able to sneak by and like get this map and go into the next one, and we ban this, this, and this in the future? It's a very different mind game when you're playing it, when you're one game away from securing the series, or when you have to reverse sweep the entire thing.
Yeah, both difficult situations, of course. And here we go. I believe we have the bans here coming through. It's going to be Kiriko and Symmetra being banned out. Kiriko's been around all night. Super valuable character. Both Caboose and the other supports have been really big on him, particularly Caboose. And no more big ultimate pushes with that one. And Symmetra, a bit of use, right? We've seen the early game kind of portal shenanigans, really valuable in those other maps. And I imagine here it would be super valuable, but we're not going to get to see it.
Yeah, I mean, we've seen Electrogiant struggle with those rotations that Drac has been able to lead. Drac is sort of like a visionary. You would send your entire team onto a side lane, and then you just send the teleporter up top, and they're not able to mash you on that high ground. So it really makes a lot of sense there. And then we've also seen as well, Nayla, the Kiriko was a little bit absent during map 2, but map 1, that was a Kiri sniper. It's just always bang, 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 headshot, 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 taking you down to basically no HP. No, we are getting a hover from both teams. They do have 20 seconds to swap up their comps, so I wouldn't necessarily call these the final ones. We kind of like get a vibe check from these two teams. So Piggles, May, Drac on the Bastion. Okay, so they're playing more when it comes to Bearfoo. They're playing for that huge like raw damage. They want to catch somebody off with the May, and they want to execute them with the Bastion. And you also have the Lucio around as well. Very nice for speeding your team around, especially on control or on Flashpoint, because it's still such a large map. And on the other side, we've got Electrogiant, which are kind of like, they're doing the best of here. They're all in their most comfortable characters, nothing brand new, nothing too complicated, just trying to get some good old Overwatch.
Yeah, Junker Queen certainly being a great character tonight as they lead the charge here. Junker versus Junker, all of their DPS backing them up. A lot of damage coming out onto Pig and everybody else. Wild Pants, Nayla going down along with Drac. Almost a team wipe there with only Piggles being the last one up. And this gives so much opportunity for Electrogiant and the friends to kind of get around here, find some early game ticks onto the point and scaring off the May.
That just stray knife catching Bastion with such a large hitbox, especially when tank mode. They just pulled them into the middle of the fight, and there's just no sustain on this planet that's going to save a Bastion from that much damage. So they are going to swap over to the Cassidy. It's a little more nimble, as well as having the flashbang is very, very strong.
Yeah, Electrogiant circling the wall here, making it into the back here, but taking a lot of heat right now as Nayla just goes down outside of Bearfoo, taking everybody else, finding some big value, taking a moment. That wall to disengage seems amazing as Emil just loads a whole clip into it there, having to run away there. Gonna do that bit of a dash out and find a bit of a duel with Caboose almost. But there we are, Pig making his way back around, Monkey, HW, and Zeus going down in the meantime there. The DPS doing so much work for Bearfoo's side, and they're going to find a cap onto the point at the moment.
Yep, they do flip, but you see how quickly this control point ticks up. They're already at 75%. This is one fight territory. I would imagine Electrogiant, they want to come back fast, they want to come back hard, but a Blizzard is the one to slow them down and stop them in their steps.
Yeah, the Molten Core is going to find a lot of value there as we do see the answer from the beat drop over on Bearfoo, keeping the team alive through thick and thin. Emil going down, unfortunately, as Piggles and everyone else makes their way up. Pig getting dangerously low as they do also go down. No tank on the side of Bearfoo, can be pushed back easily, but these walls have been genius today. Just putting up walls between players to make so much value right now, making it hard for everyone to get around. And here's Electrogiant leading the charge, no tank in the way at the moment. We see a bit of a swap there. Doofus making his way onto the map, about to enter the fray. It's Electrogiant on Junker Queen is making their way up into the action once again. So great with so many healers behind them. So much value can be accrued here as we do see the map almost getting flipped here. They're contesting last second, and there we are, picking up from 78, 79%, and it's a flip over to Electrogiant and the boys.
Yeah, they really, really tried to recontest it. They wanted to fight it so badly, but unfortunately that trickle in and they kept getting picked off. They weren't able to really make anything stick, and there was just oh so late the coalescence comes through, and they're going to try and make a fight happen, at least in this intermission, to try and get Prio on the next point, although it doesn't seem to convert over to really much. Hig does punch back the Brigitte. Electrogiant gets a kill. Nella returns the favor, that Hig falls.
Yeah, there's Zeus once again making his way on. As you do see the point go in the favor of Electrogiant. Congratulations to them. They're going to have to make their way to the next one now, and a bit of a neutral here as a DPS down on each team and each player getting ready here. Electrogiant dueling with Hig at the moment, of both big bodies making big moves as we see the charge in with the Doomfist, the Knuckle Blast coming through, getting ready for some more, as he's going to find possibly a kill onto Zeus. A crucial DPS is down at the moment, jumping on, flanking behind. A great movement and positioning by Hig here, followed by the whole team. 2 players dead. On to the next point. Slam down to the point. What an awesome character for movement. This feels like such a natural pick for the new Junker City, right?
Yep. And that's the exact positioning advantage that they wanted. They're the ones to get the first cap. They're starting to get that charge through, and especially with the ultimates that Bearfoo has available. They have the High Noon, they have the Doomfist ult. They're able to really slow things down, get them back, right? They have a lot of outplay potential, but Electrogiant does have his Rampage available, and you have nothing on the opposite side to cleanse it.
Yeah, as we see a bit of the action coming out here. Emil going to pop their ultimate along with a couple of the other players here. Draft going down, unfortunately, not getting to utilize the High Noon very effectively at all there, as we do see Caboose also go down. Electrogiant in the fray here, followed by his friends. Pickles going down, getting dangerously low. You see him go down. Okay, players are dropping one by one on Bearfoo. So much potential for Electrogiant and friends as they make their way onto the point, and here comes the flip.
Yeah, you saw how Bearfoo, they really tried to go ban for ban, but they weren't able to keep up with the heat that the Electrogiant were putting on, you know, Overclock, as well as, you know, Molten Core on top of the Orbital Ray. There's just too much for them to handle. And now still with no Kiriko and Junker Queen available, the Rampage comes through and cuts everyone.
Rampage being kind of the flavor of the night as Hig and Drac go down once again. This is just so commanding from Electrogiant and friends. Zeus, Emil doing so much damage, Caboose doing such great supporting, and Monkey HW with the ultimate in the pocket now. When they're ready to rally, kind of keep this point for the last chance, because the final push on this point may be coming up.
Yep, this is about as close as it's going to get. Wild Pants has the beat if they want to make a play, and it looks like they will. This is their chance. They're going to beat in early to the fight, countered that by a rally, but some of these are not quite so even.
Yeah, it's really hard to keep the momentum when they're kind of balancing out there. And there goes Drac. They're running them over at the moment, but they're making a good job here as Electrogiant gets dangerously low once again. Zeus, oh my god, this laser beam couldn't come at a better time, keeping the team up at the moment. And there we are, it's going to be a lock-in 2-0 at the moment for Electrogiant, finding almost a near team wipe as well on the way out of that point.
Again, the indecisiveness is really what hurt the Bearfoo Hate Club at that moment. You really got to commit to those fights, and especially the way that we saw Nayla fade onto the point to try and keep it alive, try and keep it at 99. Maybe we can win this, guys. We can hold in. And it's already gone. So now we have Electrogiant that are so very close to closing this one out, right? They're up 2-0. They got to secure this next point. Are they going to be able to do it?
Yeah, well, we're going to see the answer here as the initial point is loading up now. All the players are in hot pursuit. Monkey HLB taking a bit of damage, but unfortunately, Electrogiant going to need some support to stay in the match. We got the ultimate available for Caboose as they do find it, and it's going to be powering up the team here. So much value accrued as they're going to lead the charge. Nayla, Drac, Piggles all going down at the moment. It's up to Hig and Wild Pants to hold anything, but they're just going to have to give at the moment. Spaffles, what can they do? What can they change over here to kind of take it all back?
I don't know, to be quite honest with you. I have no idea. Now, they have a chance, right? They have a chance. They have abilities that can cancel out the Rampage. It's a long shot, but if anyone were to do it, I would trust the Bearfoo Hate Club. And it's going to start off with a Graviton Flux.
Yeah, gonna catch so many players there, and that is such a great idea. But unfortunately, Hig is gonna go down on the way through this, getting lots of value initially. But so many players are dead, it's gonna be like kind of like a clutch situation, very few alive, but they are all back up on Electrogiant and friends at the moment. No one even touching the point, but finding no value. Oh my god, it looks dicey right there, man.
Yeah, I mean, you really had to play around that rampage. You have to burst down that Junker Queen, or at least try and stun her, right? Because the hinder cancels your rampage. You have the Graviton Surge that cancels your rampage. You have the Rally Shield Bash that cancels a rampage. Fortunately, even with all those stacked up on top of each other, they just weren't able to do it.
And that's going to be the closeout then. Yeah, impressive 3-0.
I'm just... I feel very unsatisfied. I feel like I've been teased, like this crescendo is swelling up within me. This is the fight. This is the one, man.
Oh
They
my
don't
god.
touch it.
Yeah. They need some more presence there, but unfortunately, Electrogiant and friends gonna go to the first victory of the night in terms of a round, making this match a 2-1 in the favor of Bear Hey Club, but just for the moment maybe, because like this momentum, so they need for a reverse sweep, right? Yeah, this is the kind of thing you want to see to come back. Like we were worried, like, oh, how are they gonna come back from this disappointing overtime earlier? But here they are.
I mean, we really just I'm sorry, Electrogiant, I wasn't familiar with your game, right? You ban out Kiriko and then you lock Junker Queen for every single point, you know, the entire rest of the map. As when you don't have the ability to cleanse that rampage, what am I going to do? There's no way for me to heal my tank. There's no way for me to heal myself. There's no way to cleanse everybody. You can go maybe Zarya, but then I you know, you're all high and dry after 2 bubbles. So.
Well, they shouldn't sweat too much over on Bearfoo Hey Club right here, because they still have 2 games of leeway. They just got to win one of them to take the whole thing, right? So let's see. Our next type of map here is going to be the good old push type map, right? So that's what the oh man, okay, lots of variety tonight, man. Overwatch is got so many game modes. Yeah, I play League of Legends, man. There's 3 lanes, that's it. Nothing changes.
Yeah, well, that's a little bit different. That's a change of pace. That's nice. It does look like we're going to go over to Runasapi. They're one of our newest maps in the game.
Okay.
Oh, push is a game mode. It does lend itself very well to sort of those sniper compositions. You're able to sort of distance yourself from your opponents, under which side of the battle you're on. Wait, is it push?
Yeah,
I had a brain fart.
No problem. Like new maps,
Yeah.
right? This game has got a lot going on, and it's just nice that we can kind of sort of keep up with it all, right? But here we are, Munasapi.
Yeah.
I'm not super familiar with it. I have maybe seen it once before, but yeah, once again, my knowledge is failing me.
Yeah, so I mean, really, the name of the game with push is how many fights in a row can you win? You are trying to do your best to win the first 2 or 3 fights in this map, and after that, you establish a lead. You're setting yourself up for success, and once you have especially that midpoint capped where you get the forward spawns, that is a significant increase to your win rate. Yeah, interested in seeing what sort of strategies these 2 teams do pull off. Emil, hey, if you're hearing me, I would love to see more Widow. That's all I'm gonna say. Right, those picks are just so influential when they work.
This map has a lot of really good angles for Widow. Then I assume, if you're going to be talking about that one particularly, okay, it's always good to see some more opportunity for Emil to really make it work for them, because it was so valuable earlier in the day as well on both sides for that good old hybrid map earlier in Bonnie. So yeah, I'd love to see a return to that. And then the bans, once again, they're gonna be coming back around, and certain characters can't even be banned. Still, Diva is still available. Haven't seen her yet, and she was banned earlier, so I'm sure there's a reason for that. But then Junker Queen has been sticking around all day. Junkrat was just banned, and they're back on the table as well. So yeah, we should see hopefully a variety, right? I want to see some more of those tank variety, to be honest. It's been the same all night.
Yeah, well, now we're going into this map.
Yeah,
I really do wonder where we're going to go next. E-Giant do lock in their bans. We got a Tracer
certainly.
and a Rissa ban. So, okay. Speak to me, Magic Man. So we've got Tracer. We've got Orisa. Oh, wait, we have more bands. We got Juno and Sojourn. Okay, we're able to paint the whole picture now instead of just like little bit of strokes. So the ban onto Tracer in particular really speaks to me as we want to deny Pickles. Again, Pickles is known for their
Yeah.
Tracer. Let's get them out of here. Orisa really speaks to how you want to play your mobile tanks. You want to get in the backline. You don't want to be boxed in and trapped in the backline when you do. And then Juno, again, enabling that sort of speed and momentum, as well as what was that last bit again?
Sojourner is going to be out this time. We've seen them a lot
Soj,
tonight
yeah.
as well, right? Like both DPS sides have been choosing that one. The railgun's been super effective. Lots of really opportunely timed ultimates to keep that charge going. So it's going to be up to a couple other selections in the DPS pool this time around. And yeah, Juno has been present as well. We've been seeing her kind of drift around in the air, getting some value for the team,
Yeah.
right? To see some more going on. But Kariko is back on the map, a character that was absent from the last match. So it's going to be good to see them once again. Super valuable. Get those kind of legendary kunais that you've been highlighting all night. You'll see more of that.
Yeah. Again, it's all about those little pop-off moments. You have your players, I feel like at this point in the night you've already established yourself. We know what you can do. Go out, go do it, go commit violence now.
Yeah, they certainly have the weaponry to follow that order. So gonna see what they choose this time around. I'm excited. I also, having not really seen this map much, what is going on? Chat can't see just yet, but we're gonna head into it. There is a lot going on visually with this map. We got the water wheel, we got the damn courtyard here, the kind of humble little town as well. Can't pronounce those words there, but it's a good time. And here we are, making our way onto the push map.
I absolutely adore the sort of winding streets aesthetic that this map does have, is that it does do a lot of folding over itself, and that means even though it is a pretty long map, it does have a lot of shortcuts that you can take to get to certain points. So both of these teams are going to be sprinting directly at the top of the middle point, and I'm going to be interested in seeing sort of how that fight plays out. Now, it does seem like Bearfoo are having a bit of a questioning of faith. They're going to stick with the Zarya right out of the spawn now instead of the Junker Queen. Okay, I can respect it. We're going to be playing for those big, almost those big high points. Not really aiming for too much of that overall consistency. You got Nayla back on the Kiriko. Love to see it. Piggles on the Echo. We're really playing a more of a pick-based comp. Meanwhile, on the other side, the Electrogiant themselves again on Junker Queen. They've really found some solace in it. And you've got the Bastion actually for Emil for a first-time pick, as well as Zeus on the board. Get your buddies.
A lot of variety on the DPS skills. We got right into the action here. Piggles high in the sky. Emil running up on Bastion here. Minigun ablaze and finding a lot of damage into their opponents there. Gonna be down in the divvy there as we have Electrogiant making some space for his team, make sure that they're safe. And Zarya jumping in here. Pig finding lots of value. Emil going down, unfortunately. One DPS down for good old Electrogiant and his friends. So much advantage for Hig and his friends here as they have lots of damage coming through. Turret going down, Zeus going down, Monkey HW getting dangerously low, and that's gonna be it. Hig himself unfortunately down, Electrogiant as well. And oh my gosh, it is just a back and forth here for these bots right now. Gonna get that initial run though. Look at him jog. Okay, that's the victory lap right there, and they earned it.
Yeah, you gotta get that push bot. You gotta get it pushed out now.
Oh yeah.
Again, it's all about what happens on the second fight, what happens on the third fight. You have to win fights consecutively in this game mode to really extend your lead. And the way that I'm looking at it, Cab is very, very close to Kitsune Rush. I would keep my eyes on that. Meanwhile, Piggles, who are you gonna copy? There's so many good options here. I'm really, really excited to see who it is.
Yeah, we're slowly creeping up on that one, of course. That's going to be the action return here. Piggles getting snugged out, unfortunately. Electrogiant leading the charge for his team. Great use of the push barrier there to get a moment to kind of breathe between all of this harassment they're taking. Pig going down, going to be a glaring hole in the defense for Bearfoo. As little by little, they're going to catch up with the push bot right now. Emil blasting here with the burst fire. Oh my god, Bastion is such a cool pick too, man. I'm sure they're gonna find their kind of like their momentum soon enough though, and really pop off as the ultimate creeps up little by little. And
Yep,
whoa,
Kitsune
okay,
Rush
Kitsune
splitting the fight
Rush.
down the middle. Monkey gets the first pick onto Naila. Dragfall tune after Wild Pants as well. It's a pretty one-sided fight, all things considered. And even though Piggles did copy Jump Queen, he's not able to get too much done. He does fall shortly after, you know, just trying to fly away, Mr. Echo Man. Okay, the way that things played out, I was not expecting that at all. So Bearfoo decided to elect into a very, very fast fight. They just tried to run it straight down, and they were able to only get one of their ultimates off in favor of Electrogiant's one. So here, this is where I'm talking to you about. These are the consecutive fight wins that they need. They got the point over the checkpoint.
Yeah, as you speak of ultimates there comes Bob making so much space. Kitsune Rush also popped for the side of Bearfoo. As I hear that sweet, sweet music from Emil here, walking up on Bastion. Gonna find a lot of value going down to 0% ult, but it's definitely worth it. As we see the beat drop as well. Great timing on that one. Keeping everyone up, except for maybe Zeus, who's taking so much heat, but he's being healed as well. There goes Piggles. Drak getting low, Hig taking a lot of heat by having to back up and not taking enough on Zarya, unfortunately. As Electrogiant and friends make such a great push. And wow, despite the disparity of ultimates there, they came out on top.
Yeah, you really saw their ability to rotate. They were able to completely dodge the Kitsune Rush. Now Hig is going to swap over to D.Va, just trying to eat up as much as they can. Wild Pants continuing to bring out the Lucio. Now Emil is, you know, really being a menace this round. I'm very impressed to see how much the impact that he's been able to have, and that D.Va is directly an answer to that.
Yeah, great heads up play, switching to D.Va here, gonna find some value. Hopefully Caboose walking up, got the kunai up flying, and man, they're really just putting so much pressure with just their kind of fundamental abilities right now. They have to run so far away as Drak is down, unfortunately. Disadvantage for the side of Bearfoo. Electrogiant feels like a different team this round, twice in a row now, having so much momentum from that last victory on the flashpoint. And here they are up in the front here. A lot of damage coming out from Electro. Emil getting really low, unfortunately. Gonna have to build some charge in the last seconds here. Big damage in the minigun mode. And down goes Bastion. Up to the 4 players left on Electro, trying to find some value. But man, Hig is such a menace on this D.Va. Miniguns are out. Tons of damage. Gonna take this turret out for good measure. Oh my gosh, dancing with him. And there's Electrogiant having to duel this crazy ninja man, just jumping around. So mobile, but finds them. Both of them going down, and there's so much just death around right now as it goes back and forth. And that bot is running so fast. Usain Bolt back to the other side of the map, and great job to Bearfoo.
Yeah, now you can see this is a good where it's starting to get incredibly difficult. Is Electrogiant are already positioned back there. They're ready to receive the ball and start to contest this push. And Bearfoo, they not only have to win 1, they don't only have to win 2, they have to win 3 or 4 fights just to even match and become even. Right, so Drak does have Bob available. That is going to be a very powerful tool that'll help us later. But they do have the ults to match, and that's the important part, is that Electrogiant, they know how to play with an economy difference.
And there you are, Bastion popping in. He's all gonna bring those mortars down on the team. Not finding too much value, unfortunately. Zeus getting a bit low, but he's got his friends here to support him. Kay getting up in the front, knowing that their job is to keep these players down in the choke as a beat gets dropped for both sides at the same time. Great counterplay there. Piggles getting up in the mix here. He's got that Ryugateki. Huge damage with the shuriken. Additionally, Kitsune Rush. Everything's being popped right now. Hig is on his last legs, but he's going to pop out of his suit, I believe. Wild Pants going down. Zeus getting dangerously low. There's so much damage coming out here. Electrogiant leading the charge, making sure that he can do so much damage. He's got the knife coming up here. And there we are. A bunch of deaths down onto Bearfoo. And once again, we see it jumping back for Electrogiant. Great job of getting the bot back on their side of the board.
Yeah, exactly. And now it's going to take a minute for Bearfoo to sort of reset, and it was very, very good for them. They got the checkpoint. They were able to progress the map a lot in that respect, but now when things are reaching ahead, they have to fight back.
Yeah, we love to see that Molten Core, aforementioned, fighting back as we're just staying kind of in the middle of the map right now. Interesting spot to fight. Seeing a death onto Emil, unfortunately, on Cole Cassidy going down, and Bearfoo's good old Hig is just dashing in. So much value. This is why we saw D.Va banned earlier. Oh my gosh, what a menace. And there they are, bringing out the Rockets 10-player kill streak. No deaths in a little minute there. Bit of a high five into the air, and there we are, bringing the bot back over. Finally, they're making it all the way to their barrier. It's been a while.
Yeah, now Hig also does have their second life available. They do have the self-destruct that they're going to be able to use, hopefully defensively this time. I know for finding a Diva Bomb instead of the team is great, but we're going to try and maybe hold this on a little bit longer. Self-destruct to remech as expected, gets the turret, if anything, and now it's the full fight.
Yeah, we're into the action, as you said. Unfortunately, Zeus is going down. Pig and Piggles really low right now. Naila going down. Lots of deaths onto the side of Bearfoo right now. Not really. Actually, they're being kept up just enough. And here we are running in. Rampage available for Electrogiant. One of their greatest moves. Just kind of in the chamber here as we see Hig and Draco down. It's going to be a run back here. They didn't even touch that second kind of point just yet for Bearfoo. And what do you think here? Electrogiant is kind of getting the momentum, huh?
Yeah, I mean, they just ran full steam ahead straight at Bearfoo. They went through that water wheel that you admired so much earlier as sort of like a flanking opportunity, and they were just able to continue bringing on the heat. Now Hig on the Doomfist. This is just an all-in battle now.
But there's Bob adding a 6th member to the team. He's firing that weapon. Here come the B drops as well on both sides. Monkey unfortunately did not get theirs off, so that's going to be Bearfoo finding so much value with just fundamentals, a couple ultimates blown as well, and Naila on the way to their own ultimate. But the clapback is going to be devastating. Rampage and the B drop available for Electrogiants right now. Oh man, what do you think? You think they can kind of hold off this 2v0 ultimate fight in the moment here?
I'm not really sure. If we can give them a little bit of space, right? If they can hold their distance just a little bit, Naila's going to be able to build up that rush. But it doesn't look like they're going to afford it to themselves. Piggles is the first one to fall.
The D-drop once again, such a commanding ability to kind of get your team in there. Hig is going to go down as well on the Doomfist, unfortunately, and the run back. They spend so much time in the middle here. I gotta say, this is such an interesting map to see, man. I haven't seen push in a while. And yeah, so much back and forth, lots of value to be made here. The ultimates just are constantly coming up because there's so much poke potential as well on the way into these fights. Naila getting their ultimate on the board now. Electrogiant and Monkey still holding. They know that they're going to use it for that opportune moment. Doomfist coming in here. Hig making an impression as he makes his way to the front line. Here comes some big punches, but the B drop is going to keep all of the members alive. It's safe for Zeus, unfortunately, who missed the moment there. And here we are, great B-flex, keeping Piggles in the game, dashing in, finding some of his backline. Cole Cassidy going down, gonna lose out to the Samurai. What a shame. And here we are, Naila going down, Piggles going down, and everybody's kind of wiped out. Just Zeus, the last member, hiding in the corner here with his IKEA turret, just trying to stay alive, stay happy, right, as his team comes back to him. And that's the power of friendship, right? If you're on a team based around friendship, you gotta stick together, right?
Exactly. I mean, what's worse than little Zeus biting at your ankles, right? Molten Core coming on through.
Awesome move for kind of denying facing there as the Rampage comes out here into the dash for so many deaths down onto Bearfoo's side. They're in overtime right now, and currently Electrogiant is kind of in the lead as they might even find this one as well. And there we are.
What's that I'm hearing? Reverse sweep? Reverse sweep, maybe? we're so very close. It's back up to 2-2, and I don't know. Are they going to be able to do it?
Oh, Wild Pants. Okay, let's see what he's got here. But yeah, it's quite possible. You know, they have so much momentum now. These last 2 matches have been so in favor of them. After we saw it go very even in the second round, the third and fourth round were undeniably sided towards Electrogiant and the Friends.
And I really feel like the Electrogiants, they sort of like downloaded the schematics. They really understood what makes Bearfoo tick, and they also just found their love of their life. They found their Junker Queen. Oh, what are we supposed to do now? Like, I mean, the characters right there.
Certainly a great choice, you know, for like a kind of your top leading character there, and it's been very, very powerful tonight, as you said. And I was asking for variety earlier, but I think they just gotta stick to that because it is working right now. And the supports have been really reliable too. Lucio being a kind of a great pick there, Kariko, Juno in the mix, a great kind of arsenal of them. I do also like to see the swapping that Emil's been doing as well. We started off on Bastion there, moving over to Genji for a while, and we had the Cole Cassidy as well. Quite a few different options, and there's a lot going on, man. But Zeus, you know who he's on all night, right? Good old Torbjorn.
You know, hey, don't call it a one trick, okay? Play other characters, just chooses not to, right? When it really comes down to it, you can always rely on the Zeus Torbjorn, right?
Oh,
I
yeah.
mean, you know what they say, the turret can't miss. Right, and
It's so true.
now that we're looking forward, right? And it's just thinking about it, right? Now, correct me if I'm wrong. Junker Queen hasn't been banned yet, so technically, if Bearfoo so desires, they could target it for this map 5, right?
It's interesting because like Junker King was almost banned earlier. They were talking and they banned Junker, which kind of applies to 2 characters, and it happened to be Junkrat in that case. But man, this could be the time, if any time, to kind of pop that ban out, because they get it once. They get to do it once. This is a great chance for it, going to make them struggle. Might see Electrogiant back on characters like Winston, which is definitely a great pick as well. I would love to see some Winston in this final round, right? Because our final mode is going to be. Let me just take a look here. We're going to be
it's
on
gonna be escort.
to the escort. Oh, okay. So that's like entirely payload, right? Not hybrid in any way. Okay. Full
payload.
just
Payload front to back. And hopefully we're going to see some more interaction between the 2 teams. It is going to be Circuit Rail.
Okay.
Interesting choice. Very interesting, considering you're walking into the Emil on Widowmaker. Right, Circuit Royale is known for its very, very long sightlines, how oppressive characters like Widow, like the Hanzo are. I'm really interested in seeing if they're going to get banned out, because they haven't been yet. So, is this an opening, maybe, do you think?
Yeah, now's the chance to make your final lock-ins, right? There's so many important kind of characters there. And if we don't see Widow, man, I'm sure, as you mentioned, it's going to be back on the map here. I remember there's that one really good hill in the middle, right, where you can kind of like shoot down from above. That's going to be a great spot for those types of characters. And Sojourn, certainly a great choice as well. Definitely, they're unbanned now. They're out of the picture last game, but they're definitely back on the map. And it's going to be a great choice if they can.
Yeah, I'm just waiting to see. We've kind of exhausted everything. We've banned, how many characters have we banned now? Like 8 characters total out of the entire roster. And there's just all of the power picks are gone. The comfort picks are gone. What is going on? No. What is left?
16 characters were banned because it's 2 on each side, 4 rounds.
Yes, 16 characters.
16.
That
How big
sounds
is this
more
game?
right.
This game's like 30 characters, right? So that's like half the roster.
It's something around there. We're close to half the roster now.
Okay.
That's pretty crazy.
Oh, man. Well, God, I don't want to even make any more anticipations. I just want to see what they are, man. Like, I know they're kind of deliberating a little bit. It's kind of hard choices coming along. But, man, let's see them. Let's see them.
I mean, when it comes down to it.
Yeah, put on the...
It's all about the plays, right? We put so much emphasis on the bans because that's what's happening. That's what's live. That's what's going on. But... it doesn't matter who you ban if you can't play what's left.
Oh my gosh.
And I'm sure the cooks are in the kitchen right now. They're cooking up something very spicy. I really want to peek behind the curtain and see, but there's also the risk of burning up. Right.
Based on my wait time, man, it's like a 5-course meal or something, dude. They only got to pick 2 characters each. Like, come on. There's only 30 characters in this game. Go get that image open, pick them up. Like, it's like we got to get to this, right? Like, we want to see this final match. And
and the stakes are high, right? Both of these teams are playing for so much, and I'm really, really interested to see where we're going, right?
Well, you were kind of highlighting the Widow there, and like Widow hasn't been banned tonight, from what I understand. So that's definitely one that could happen because Emil's going to be struggling there. But they have lots of other good DPS. So we just saw it on Bastion. What a great Bastion play, man! When we're looking back on this later on, I'm going to be glad to kind of reminisce about that one.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, seeing Bastion played, seeing Cassidy played is always nice. Even though nowadays it's not so much for the hinder / flashbang, it's a lot more for your ability to just offload so much damage. Your right click does about 300 damage. You right click, roll right click, alt right click. It's a lot of damage. And when you have so many characters and you've got so much diversity and all of these top tier picks are open, and I find it very difficult to sort of predict. We have a lot of room ahead of us, and seeing those characters finally Hanzo and
Okay.
Reinhardt are banned.
Oh, Reinhardt? Okay.
Mhm.
I guess he had some interesting implications at certain points on this circuit, right? Like kind of holding down key positions, giving characters like Hanzo, Widow, and Bastion lots of time to shoot. And yeah,
Mhm.
that's gonna be it for Hanzo. And on the other side here, Widow is out along with Sigma. So you see two tanks and two DPS band kind of fulfilling
Yep.
roles that kind of we were highlighting there, like really good choke points to hold. And these are characters that were excellent at that. What do you think about the Sigma band? We've seen him tonight, right?
Yeah, we've seen a
Yeah,
little bit of
someone
Sigma,
had him.
especially
Yeah.
I think it was namely on Nabani when we were seeing that
Oh
comboed
yeah.
up with the Widowmaker. But
Mm.
now that that is gone, right, you have a lot less protection, a lot less safety. You're taking your barrier tanks off the field more or less. You're gone. Reinhardt, Sigma, go play over there in the pit. You got Widow out as well. This is turning Circuit Royale into a pretty different map, I would say. And yes, you do still have your Hanzo available, but I mean, Hanzo is more of a, don't kill me out there, you Hanzo fans. I think he's very hot as well, but Hanzo has a very different sort of aiming style, and a lot of the time it just revolves down to shooting a corner multiple times, and I'm not sure how effective that's going to be in a matchup sort of as random and as chaotic as this. I feel like action's happening all around me, forward, front, straight, to the sides, maybe even behind me a little bit. I can kind of sort of hear it from the storage room out back. There's always something going on.
Yeah, speaking of going on, we're seeing some pretty cool hovers there initially with the good old Ramatra on both sides. But here is Electrogiant sticking to Junker Queen. Junker Queen dodging a ban tonight. The entire set of 20 bans. No ban on Junker Queen. Making it to the final round.
You know what, guys? Junker Queen's not a problem. We can play something else. So Hig thinks that they solved it. You have the solution. You stayed up all night. You've been cooking. You've been frying. You've been baking. How many other forms of cooking are there? I don't know. But ultimately, we come out with the Ramatra first on the defense. All that up with a Sojourn and a Pharah. Ramatra, the last barrier tank left standing. Is that extra space, is that extra security going to be enough to secure their angle, or is it not?
Yeah, we're gonna have to see what they can do. But yeah, great placement on that barrier as mentioned there. And we can see the staff out there. Anti-heal at the moment. We're gonna go into their alternate mode for a moment. Take some heat. Man, it's gonna be up to support to keep them up because Drac is getting really low right now. Pig luckily staying up just enough. And Monkey HW on the Zenyatta here. Omnic versus Omnic gameplay right now. Oh my gosh. The anti-heal, though, the Orbs of Discord, there's so much potential for damage here on the side of Bearfoo. As Hig goes down, Piggles is going to be in a bit of a heat here, too. There's so much potential for Electrogiant and friends to push up now with the enemy tank down. And, man, that is a shame. And what do you think about this initial opening here, Spaffles?
I mean, around that first corner, you kind of send your tank forward as a sacrifice. It's like, go be free, my child. They don't really have a Kiriko or a Baptiste that's able to really give your tank that immortality that it would need to sort of stay in that strong of a position. But they were able to stall, they were able to buy themselves some time, get themselves some ult charge. But unfortunately, so is the same for Electrogiants. And Cab has the nano boost, it goes through under the Junker Queen.
Oh my gosh, great timing on that. They're putting so much work getting that ult charge. As you see Junker Queen running on in here. Electrogiant, as always, super reliable. And there's going to be a bit of damage down from Piggles here on the Sojourn. There is the boost from good old Wild Pants. Or, sorry, I'm mistaken. That is on an ultimate. But here we are. Bearfoo back in the mix here, staying on the payload, trying to repel these invaders here. So much damage coming out, and there is a knockdown with the sleep dart. Oh my gosh, no one is going down. There's so much chaos going on. The ultimate, the annihilation is available for Hig here. Gonna possibly pop it, and there we are. Pummel mode, finding so much damage onto his opponents. Electrogiant on the run. His friends are all gone. It's just up to him. Caboose in the grave, and a great play by Hig and the rest of Bearfoo. Wild Pants, Naila holding the ultimate. Drax still having it in the chamber too. And Emil and Zeus on the way with it as well.
And after such a long, drawn-out fight, we finally break through that pressure with the Annihilation. Now that that's off the board and the Juno ult, the Orbital Ray, is no longer available, we have 3 ultimates available right now for Electrogiant, and a 4th one on the way shortly after. I struggle to find a way that they don't secure this point.
Yeah, Yes, you say that. Molten Core comes on through. Shots into the sky. Unfortunately, Farah Drac is so valuable right now. And here comes Electrogiant into the mix once again. There's so much anti-healing going on towards them due to Ana. The boost is making so much work of them. Even Electrogiant in the mix. And wow, this Repeat is just having so much value, repelling the enemy tank as they do go down, making so much space for Electrogiant to lead the charge along with the Zeus going down. Unfortunately, Friendship is at an all-time low as the Drac and Nayla Caboose. Oh my god, so many players going down as we do see Pickles leading his way in here. Got the fully charged railgun, tons of damage, making so much value for him and the Bearfoo haters.
They did it! They managed to hold on. They survived the gauntlets. They were able to hold on long enough that they were able to charge up that overclock, that they got the rally up on board, and they just held them back. They repelled the advance. That was 4 ultimates from the Electrogiants, and they failed to crack Bearfoo's solid defense. Now, Emil is on the soldier. Just need to pump out as much damage as you can in this short of a window. Now, on a Hail Mary, the anti-grenade is not going to be able to find a target.
So important to find those into the right spots. You see anti-heal is so valuable. Here comes Wild Pants ultimate here. We got the orbital. Hig is going to take a little bit of a nap mid-game here. Caboose just taunting him from the mid-range. You're going to find him in the hallways here. And a little bit of a palm at the end to take him down. Over to the other Omnic. Monkey HW going down. The friends are all dead right now. It's just Electrogiant alone, and that's going to be the end of the round, propelling them beyond the first checkpoint at all.
And that was a round to watch. Just like we discussed at the beginning, everything was sort of seeming to go according to plan for Bearfoo. They held up very, very close to the spawn. They sacrificed their tank. They were able to all fall back to safety with no extra sacrifices, no extra deaths, nobody extra caught in the crossfire. And then they held that last corner through and through and through. And they really fought for it, and I believe that they really deserved that hold. Right? They were able to win a fight with, down 4 ults to 1. Now, the Pharah ults, the Pharah barrage, they used to really buy themselves a lot of time. Nobody can really walk around that corner when there's a barrage happening on the other side of it, and it really bought them that extra time. And I didn't think I would be saying this, but they really did not need the Kiriko into Junker Queen. They didn't need it. And they were able to zone out the JQ after she ulted in through the team, as, Junker Queens would. They're able to isolate her from the rest of her team and wasn't able to get anything done.
You gotta give to Naila in that case then, because the Brigida was just buying so much time in those really tight fights there on the corridor side of the road. Keeping out a tank, man, a tank is worth 2 characters in this game, man. So what a great effort they got there. And yeah, you said it though, but hey, we got a bit of a return to form here for Bearfoo. Bearfoo was looking a bit shaky for a couple of rounds there, but now they are back on top, repelled beyond the first point. Just got to pass that first point, and they got it in the bag, right? They got the whole 3:44 minutes left on the clock. Gonna find some damage, especially Hig going down there. Good old Electrogiant and friends is gonna make sure that they don't find too much value too quickly. And there we are, right there on the screen. Stop the payload. That's what they got to do, man. And it's going to be up to them to follow their instructions and to keep this payload back. As little by little, they are pushing. Hig is back. He's going to do a swap to Winston. Monkey in the house. Here we go. Ape Rage on the way. I spoke too soon. Back on Ramatra. Yeah, back and forth. But here we are.
Yeah, a bit of a
POV here. Yeah, between the
just a bit of a crisis of fate there, and just trying to determine what is best. And the rampage, pummel mode is coming through, and Piggles falls.
What a great use of pummel here, kind of dueling it out. Unfortunately, Bearfoo using quite a few members. The defense, man, it feels like a map thing now, man. Pushing this first bit of the map is so difficult around this corner. You were saying it earlier, Spaffles, your tank is gonna have such a tough time if he doesn't find that much value, right?
Yeah, and the way that Electrogiant are putting their full weight behind this corner. Their entire team is here. They're not willing, they're not, comfortable just giving a little bit of time. They want this corner, and they're going to hold it with all of their might. And Bearfoo aren't quite ready for that right now. They're being held a little earlier in the map than most would.
we'll see if they can change anything. 2 minutes left on the clock here. Hig firing these little purple shards out. Got that really great barrier there, getting dangerously low here. Wild Pants got the ultimate in the chamber. Molten Core coming out to meet the orbital, though, unfortunately. Lots of damage coming out. Hig going down, gonna crumple Bearfoo at the moment, and that is just a great delay for Electrogiant and friends. Man, this is even better than last round for them.
Yeah, no, I will say that's also some really good ultimate discipline. You have 3 ults available for Bearfoo. None of the support ults were consumed. And they sort of just took those punches like, okay, you want to commit all of this? We'll hold off.
Well, here's their orbital as they make their big push here. Gonna cancel out good old Cole Cassidy's high noon. And that there they are moving up. Piggles leading the charge along with his tank. And this is so much damage coming out. This is their chance to kind of match it up. 1.5 minutes on the clock. Railgun doing big damage in the machine gun mode at the moment. And I'm just going to call it Electrogiant got the ultimate in the pocket though. Hig not too far behind for some annihilation being on the board. Naila got their rally ready there. You can see the check marks on the ground there as the payload gets closer and closer. Here we go. Here comes the rally along with the annihilation on both sides. Just a mirror match to the truest degree. Down on pummel mode. Big kill onto the Electrogiants here. Zeus, Emil, Monkey, Caboose all going down. This could be it. They're gonna hit that checkpoint in a moment here, and that's it.
I mean, what can I say? I was a Bearfoo hater all along.
Yeah.
And
Yeah,
Bearfoo secures it. They just barely squeeze by 3-2.
Barely, huh? A good choice of words for sure. And we got the story of hatred versus friendship, and unfortunately hatred comes out on top tonight. Bit of a sad time for the stream, but regardless of all that, Bearfoo Hate Club getting another look at, this is the end of the match, right? Yeah. Hig getting in there with the pummel mode, so much value, punching into his opposing Ramatra. Oh my gosh.
Yeah, that annihilation was an absolute beast, and you could see it's just like, we're gonna hold out, we're gonna take these punches. You overextend with who? We're coming back. We're coming back fast. We're coming back full force, and we're gonna make you pay. Now, congratulations to my friends over at Bearfoo Hate Club, and we're gonna be expecting actually an interview coming through soon. So we're gonna send you all to a break, and then we'll be right back. You all. Hello, gamers. Welcome back. We've got our very own Piggles. Oh, Piggles.
Yeah, you got it.
Yeah, I got it right on the second try. Hello, Piggles. Congratulations on the victory. You and the rest of Bearfoo Hate Club did so well, and yeah, how are you doing, man?
We're doing good. Definitely was scared at the last map, but yeah, very good, I think.
Yeah, I do want to touch up on that a little bit. I mean, we saw how you guys got to that 2-0 very, very quickly, and I was like, oh, is something starting to slip. How did you and the team really like lock in and like secure that last map?
I think on the last map, we knew they had like a good Widow player, and we knew couldn't mirror the Widow. And we also don't really play Sig, so we just decided to just brute force the Sojourn and the Pharah.
Oh yeah.
Because like they do play the Torb a lot, so we just brute force the we went circuit because the linear map and forced the Pharah rockets and the Soj for free.
Yeah, that was very, very well, like beautifully played. I love to see it, especially some of the ult disadvantages that you guys overcame there on the point there, right around the corner.
Oh,
it was beautiful to watch. It was amazing. Yeah, another question I have for you. This one's going to be a little bit more personal. So Pharah, right? We saw so much Pharah today. Is that what character you thought you were going to be playing into this? Is that one you practiced, or is it something more like on the spot?
I think I practice more like Echo, because like Echo is really good in the meta right now, and then the tournament I'm mainly playing Echo. But the Pharah we just kind of like picked up on the spot because of Torb, because that was becoming such a big issue, because we had to deal with the Torb turret, and there was a Kiwi flanking a lot of the time. So yeah,
Okay,
so it was like in the moment thing.
That was very nice. Yeah, I absolutely love to see how it sort of became your team's counter as well to the Junker Queen. I know Junker Queen was tearing havoc in the rampage through the entire team, but when you were flying up above, obviously couldn't hit you, and it was like a cool little side consequence to that. All right, so here's your third and final question, right, for you. So are you going to beat the Punisher one trick allegations, Marvel Rivals?
Yeah, I just became a support player in Marvel Rivals. I think we're going into it.
Okay.
I'll probably just play either support, or I'll try the new characters, see if I like them or not. Like there's tons of
let's
now,
go.
I think.
Yeah, our Tracer Genji Pharah player turning into a support. That's a really nice character arc to see. I wish you very much luck and success in that, and as well as in your tournament that you mentioned that you're playing in, and our Bearfoo Hate Club. You guys played an excellent series tonight, and talking about excellent series, we can do our MVP nominations now. So,
Oh yeah.
All right. Thank you so much, guys.
All right, thank you so much, Piggles. It was a joy having you on.
Thanks for coming on, man.
Thank you. All right. So now that we're back to just the two of us, right? I didn't feel a little awkward doing it in front of our esteemed guest. Where do you think that this MVP nomination is going to? So we got 2 votes, I think. We have our MVP and our SVP. So winning, losing team. Who would you give the MVP to? I want to hear you out here, your thought process.
I'm so between Haig and Piggles for that one on the side of Bearfoo. Just like seeing Piggles in the air all game, every game, just like raining death from above was pretty impressive. And Haig was always leading the charge, especially in that last game there, the Ramatra Mira. I think it really came out really well for them. Yeah. And then in terms of Electrogiant, their team, I got to give it to Zeus, man. I think he really stuck to his guns with the good old Torbjorn, right? Molten Core, every time you swapped over the cast to me, it always seemed like Molten Core was just starting. So I had the joy of getting to talk about it every time. And there we were.
Well, I don't really have any objections to that. So there you have it, folks. We're going to say Hig is the MVP, and we're calling Zeus the SVP. So thank you all so much for watching. Congratulations again to Bearfoo Hate Club. Best of luck to you guys with the rest of your intramurals and all your other tournaments, NECC, that you're participating in. And thank you so much as well to the Electrogiant and friends. Friendship is king it's most of the time, maybe not really. We'll get there eventually. We're working on the slogan. It's going to come back nicer and better, hopefully next week. So we'll see you guys around. Thank you all so much for tuning in, and have a good rest of your night. Thank you all so much. Bye.